Strike the last word.
The gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman. American farmers and ranchers are citizens too. I represent the West Texas District 19 in Texas, 29,000 square miles, 27 counties, made up of a lot of farmers and ranchers and farm families and ranch families. And you know what? They're concerned about the deficit as well. They're concerned about the growing debt and the legacy that will leave for our children and our grandchildren. And they're willing to step up and take their share of the burden of being able to get our country headed back on the right track again. In fact, that process started in the 2008 Farm Bill, where a lot of these farm programs were reduced. And for the last few years, for example, countercyclical payments have been nearly nil in many of those commodities because the program was operating the way it was designed. And so I appreciate my colleagues' efforts to be a budget hawk, and in many ways and many times I have supported a lot of his amendments and ideas. But today I come to the floor saying that, you know what, this is not the place to write the Farm Bill. We have that process coming up next year. Farm families are stepping up in this particular appropriation bill, as the chairman so appropriately pointed out, that major cuts to agricultural programs occur in this a bill that we're considering today. And so I'm going to urge my colleagues that let's write the Farm Bill when it's time to write the Farm Bill. Let's put together programs that are good for production agriculture. I would remind a lot of folks that when we look at this Farm Bill, a lot of people don't understand all of the things that are in this, and it's called a Farm Bill, Appropriation Bill. But quite honestly, a majority of this bill is about food stamps. It's about nutrition programs, and a very smaller percentage of this bill really has anything to do with production agriculture. And I think one of the things that we have to be extremely careful here, and that's the reason we need to get this right, and that's the reason we need to do it in regular order, is today America is dependent on 70% of its oil in this country. In other words, every day we get up and we have to find 70% of our oil has to be imported in this country. And just recently, the United States of America half of its credit is due to foreign countries. And so today we are importing oil. Today we have to import money to finance our deficits. And what we want to be extremely careful is that in the future that Americans don't have to wake up and determine who's going to feed them, because we have eliminated the farm industry in this country. And so I think that's the reason it's important to do this carefully. It's important to do it right. I look forward as a member of the Ag Committee, as we move into 2012, of sitting down with my colleagues and writing foreign policy that will be good for America, be good for our budget long term, and that's the appropriate time to do that. And so I'm going to urge my colleagues to vote against this amendment. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Texas yields back the balance of his time. For what purpose?